Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Sermondo Talks. My name is Christina and I'll be speaking with Augustas Kligys today, who's the founder of Orange Klik. Let's say hi and ask him a few questions. So I'm here today with Augustas Kligys. He's from Lithuania and currently in Germany, and he's the founder of Orange Klik. Hi Augustas, great to have you here.
Hi, Christina. Nice to be here as well.
In one sentence, what is Orange Klik?
Orange Klik is... Wait a minute, I have to think. Oh, Orange Klik.
You can also use two sentences.
It's hard to say. Orange Klik is the company which organizes virtual and in-person events for Amazon sellers. And besides that, I also do different videos with different Amazon service providers and softwares and event organizers. So basically bringing the awareness of what's available on the market to Amazon sellers.
And how long have you been around for?
I popped up in the industry about 3 years ago from nowhere, being Lithuanian, a non-English speaker, and non-native English speaker. And yeah, I just started to do virtual summits. And in the first 2.5 years, I did 6 virtual summits. And this is how people got to know about me and what I do.
And how did you get dragged in the Amazon industry? Were you an Amazon seller yourself, or where did the idea came from?
Well, I have never sold on Amazon. This is actually Amazon FBA. This is what I was interested 4 years ago. Someone introduced me to this business model. I used to be a website programmer for many years, like a freelance programmer. And since I used computer every day for many hours, I was looking for opportunities to do something else on the internet. And before that, like about 5 or 6 years ago, I made a goal myself to serve people, but I didn't know how to serve. I was programming, so I felt I'm not serving enough people in the world. And with this goal, the ideas were coming up towards me. So Amazon FBA was the first one, but at that time I thought I can invest 500 euros. I didn't really have money to invest, and I was looking for products. At that time, Jungle Scout was very fresh and new. It was like 2015 in summer, and I really couldn't find a product with which I could do business with 500 euros. So I just kept following what other people are doing, basically subscribing to a lot of Facebook groups where Amazon sellers are talking. And what I noticed that many people were talking about Europe, but there was no really information. There were no influencers which would be doing anything in Europe for Amazon sellers. And together with this idea, I got to know virtual summit business model. And this is where I just one day just combined Amazon and virtual summit. And this is how I popped up to the industry. I did my first virtual summit with 26 speakers at that time. And virtual summit basically means that I recorded interviews with the people, with these experts, and I presented those interviews all in 1 week. It was advertised as a free event, and people were able to watch all these videos in 1 week for free. And of course, there is some limitation in how long they can watch. And once this limitation is gone, they are able to purchase the whole package of all the recordings. And this is how virtual summit model works. This is how I monetized. And this is how I started to develop in this industry and creating more events. And yeah, this year
and also in-person events now, right?
Yeah, and this year I don't really have time to do virtual summit. Maybe I will do one, I still don't know, but I will finish this year with the 4 in-person events in 4 countries: in Prague, in Czech Republic, Israel, Lithuania, and Netherlands.
In your opinion, how do conferences help Amazon sellers make more money on Amazon?
It's basically meeting other people. This is the biggest value I see. And when they meet each other, they of course exchange these ideas which they like they get to know different maybe tricks. It can be even white hat tricks, but they get advices from more experienced sellers just like this in the corridor or in the lobby of the conference. And these people are much more willing to give advices for free, of course, and you make friends. And just yesterday I saw that someone bought a ticket to my conference in Lithuania, and that guy is coming from Copenhagen, and he says he's doing, I think, $2,000 in sales every month, and he wants to increase his revenue per month to 20,000 this year. And he was like confident that when he comes to the conference, this knowledge which he gets from the experts, but also when he meets other 6 or even 7-figure sellers in the room, he can easily make this happen to increase his revenue by 10 times by the end of the week. So it's maybe difficult to understand this value when you haven't been in the event, or if you were in the event and you were introvert, you didn't speak to anyone. This is how I would be in the first events. But if you break this ice and you talk to people, I think there is huge value. Just you should not be shy and do that.
I mean, there are not thousands of conferences, but there are a few. So what makes your conferences special?
For me, borders don't exist, and I really want a lot of nationalities to come to my events. And this is what I managed to do in European Seller Conference in Prague, which is happening every year in March. And there in my first event, I had 40 different nationalities. And I think it was a very interesting mix of the mentality, especially mentality, because when East and West Europe meets, and of course I had from other countries as well, from Asia, from North America, but the mix of these mentalities is very strong, and I felt this when I was traveling in my life. And this is what I want to bring, this internet to remove the borders from European Amazon sellers. There are some events happening in UK. So like seller sessions by Daniel Macmillan, and there are some big meetups, but my events are usually based in countries where you don't get events. Like, for example, I did a conference in Israel, in Lithuania. In Lithuania, it's in the Baltics, you haven't had ever Amazon-related international conference. And
so you try to bring the knowledge to those sellers as well. That's nice.
Actually, my events, I did in 2019, I will do 4 live events, but they have like 3 different kind of ideas behind. So European Seller Conference in Prague is more like let's say someone told me, let's make it a Prosper Show of Europe. Basically, it's like a mass European Amazon Seller Conference. In Israel and Lithuania, they are called Seller Fest events, Seller Fest Israel, Seller Fest Lithuania, and these are the purpose of them is to bring something to local community, but because international speakers are coming, it is suitable for international guests as well, but it's more targeting the local communities. And in Amsterdam, PPC Congress, the first ever event I'm doing about Amazon advertising. It's targeting completely different niche. It's Amazon advertising and PPC experts only. So it will be very advanced audience. And I think everyone is excited and coming. A lot of people are coming from North America as well. So yeah, I'm trying to fulfill the gaps in the industry for different events.
Let's go back to what Amazon sellers can take away from those conferences. What do you think are the most common mistakes that Amazon sellers make when they attend such conferences?
No, maybe it would be like being like I would be in the conference and trying to find a corner to hide from everyone because you feel embarrassed to go and speak to someone. It would be nice, maybe maybe for me as an organizer, I should create some games or some funny videos before the event where I explain how they can connect to others as well. Other than that, I don't know. I think it's important. I saw that people get value when they just go to each of the sponsors, for example, to each sponsor booth and talk to these companies and see what they do. If you're an Amazon seller and you have already a logistic company right now, it still can be valuable to go and talk to your sponsors, which are also another logistic company, just to know. And one day, who knows, maybe your business grows and your current logistic partner is not managing to deliver good service. You can always remember those people you met at the conference, and if you like them, you can use their service. What else? During presentations, of course, if you make notes, it's useful. I do make notes myself, but I noticed that after event is finished, whether it was a live online webinar, which I wanted to listen and I made notes, these notes are forgotten. So I don't know, maybe it's useful to take these notes, and if you have other team members, to share it after the conference so that you spread the word what you have learned. What else is useful? Oh, you said the mistakes people are making. I don't know. The mistake can be that when they purchase a ticket and they don't attend. In Israel, we were surprised that some people just didn't show up, which is surprising. But of course, things happen.
Some people just have too much money to spend. All right, then let's head to the personal questions. You already said that you wanted to serve people, and that's why you became self-employed. Were there any other reasons? Did you feel stuck in your old job, or?
I was dreaming. Can you repeat the question? It never happened.
I would not cut that out. Okay. So we already talked about that you wanted to serve people, and that's why you decided to start those summits. Were there also any other reasons why you decided to become self-employed?
Well, I was kind of self-employed, let's say, for many years, because I finished university about almost 20 years ago. And after I finished, already during the bachelor degree in my home country, I was working part-time, and but working for my uncle's company. But then I was looking for opportunities to escape my home country, because I was passionate about traveling, and I thought I want to study outside of my country. So I went to Denmark to get a master's degree in computer science. And since then I got this feeling of freedom, and I couldn't imagine myself working somewhere like on the fixed desk for many years. So what happened with me was that after studies in Denmark, I still worked at university as a research assistant for a few months, but then I just went traveling, and time to time I was coming back to university. They were accepting me for some short-term projects, 2-3 month projects, which was good for me. I could work a little bit, and then I could invest my savings into traveling once again. Afterwards, I met my wife, and then we also traveled for 5 or 6 years. We were on the road. And during that time, I developed to be a website programming freelancer. And this is how we basically supported our life for many years. So I was an entrepreneur, probably in my mind, for a long time.
When you don't spend your money on traveling, what do you spend your money on? Do you like to invest in material things, like, I don't know, expensive cars, or do you rather invest in experiences?
I probably don't invest neither into, no, I don't chase expensive things. I usually, when I have a something, if it's a shoe or trousers or a phone, I try to keep it as long as possible, and I'm very careful how I use that thing, so it's not really wearing off, or the phone is really functional for many years, and it might just be, I might change it just because it slows down because of the newest operating system updates. I like shopping online, actually. For maybe some tools, I like to try different services when I see something is new popping up and might be an alternative to a service which I used until now. I would be happy to join a new service and try it and maybe replace the old one. We do shop online as a family to buy some regular things which we need. We don't shop for the food because we usually eat a lot of vegetables, so we need it anyway, go and buy fresh ones. But if it's about any other kind of non-food things, we usually do it online. So this is what I enjoy the most, to just click this button and then wait until package arrives. And, uh,
Yeah, me too.
about before I started actually all this Amazon journey, Amazon informational journey, I was a very active Amazon reviewer in Germany. I didn't even really speak good German, but I was like in the top 100 Amazon reviewer list in German website. And
You're the
how I
dream of every Amazon seller, as long as you
yes,
good.
and I was getting packages like every day, and you know, these couriers, they do me so well, and like every day coming, and I did like maybe 250 reviews in 1 year or something.
Wow.
And I was like hunting for this. It was like a hobby. Like I was addicted to try new things. Um, every product I was receiving, I was spending like 1 hour for taking pictures, making short video, writing a review. I was doing like this. I was writing review in English. Then I was sending to a freelancer who was polyglot, Bulgarian guy who was translating for me into German language. His German was not perfect, but was good for reviews. And of course, I was paying money to translate and publish the reviews.
What is the most expensive thing that you ever bought? I mean, if you bought a lot on Amazon, I can imagine there were also some things that are quite expensive.
Digital things was a course which I bought for $1,500. Physical things, probably a car maybe, but this was not online. If it's smaller than a car, then phone, but I also don't change phones often, so it's like, yeah, it's hard to say. I don't look for expensive things to buy. Like I'm happy. I have just one backpack with things. My wife and my son has a little bit more things, so I'm always complaining. But my wife says, "Hey, your life is virtual life. That's why you have just one backpack, and our life is like real life."
What do you like least about your job? About organizing those events or also doing your demo videos? What do you don't like about it?
I think I don't. I get crazy because of this hundreds of micro tasks I have to remember, or I have to put notes somewhere. That's why about 2 months ago I hired an assistant, so she works now and she helps me a lot. And I might work with few more people where I can outsource. But basically, this try to keep everything in my head. Maybe it's also a problem that I didn't manage to structurize my business or how I keep the ideas. And well, I do have multiple papers where I hand written to do things, to do items, what I have to accomplish. And I like to just remove these from the list once it's done. What else I don't like? Maybe I don't like that I work so much and then I spend too few time with my family sometimes. Uh,
I think
uh,
every entrepreneur struggles with that, right? So
yes.
maybe if you could have one superpower in the world, would it be? Would it be that you have like endless time, or that you suddenly become an organization talent? What kind of superpower would you like to have?
I would like to be more powerful in spreading the help to help much more people. I'm very happy, of course, now how I developed in the years. Let's say when I was programming, I was maybe helping 5 clients, and through the projects I did, it was helping somewhere else in the backend, these websites. But now it's more what I do. It's I can grasp more what impact I have. But I would like to touch more people, and I still don't know how to do it. I don't know if it's a superpower to have a better English in
Languages.
pronunciation, yeah, maybe, or to I don't know, to be more funny in the videos, that I feel more entertainer, and people, watch me not because they want the knowledge, but because I'm also an entertainer. I would like to have maybe more entertaining YouTube videos. And as you know, me in person, we met. I'm maybe not so serious. Normally, I
Not
make
at
a
all.
lot of jokes, but through my videos and through what I do, people don't see that exactly. I had in the past some videos, some ideas how I could make more interesting things in the industry. For example, I can share some idea which probably I will never implement, but 3 years ago when I did my first virtual summit, I thought, what else I can do different? And I thought it would be nice to have, let's say, short videos with experts, and the title of the video could be like upside down in 3 minutes, for example. And the idea is that I'm hanging upside down and I'm interviewing experts by hanging upside down for 3 minutes. And I shoot the questions.
That would be entertaining.
But this is very difficult to implement if you're doing this at home. So basically you have to, build some bar above in the ceiling so that you can hang properly. And I'm not so sportive. For me, hanging upside down is very difficult. Actually, yeah, I have made some video in the past about 3.5 years ago where I was hanging upside down. It was like funny video, which is unlisted in YouTube. And
Can you please list it? Or if anyone sees this and Augustas doesn't go for it, can please someone else do that? I would really love to see it.
Yeah. So I had such ideas, and I'm still thinking, what else can I do? Something funny and different. My humor is not always suitable for public because it's I like black humor, and yeah.
If you could time travel, if you could go back in time for, let's say, 5 years or 10 years, what advice would you give to your younger self? I mean, you're still young, but like your younger self.
Probably the biggest pain I have is that my son is now 7 years old, and in the first 3-4 years, I didn't really connect to him just because I was working. Also, I think this working, of course, it's a mindset. I don't stop working even now. I need to change this mindset somehow. Another thing was in the past, of course, when I was programming, I think I charged too few per hour. So I had to work more to support my family. So, of course, I would give advice so basically 2 advices: not to be afraid to increase your price, and
know your value.
Yeah, maybe sometimes maybe I knew my value, but I was afraid to increase the price for the client with whom I worked for 3 or 4 years. So you're afraid to lose him and so on.
Yeah.
And another advice, of course, like not to forget your family. So basically, after 3-4 years, I had to work a lot to reconnect with my child, and that he knows that I'm his father, kind of.
I think that's a pretty good advice, especially for a lot of Amazon sellers out there. They're just starting out because they can also feel a little overwhelmed with work and family and friends. So listen to Augustas. He lived through it and he gives you the advice to invest more time to the family. Then I'm already at my last question. Do you have 3 tips that you can give to any Amazon seller out there? Can be regarding conferences or in general.
I think one thing important thing which I maybe see in Amazon sellers which are approaching me, or which let's say subscribe to my email list, and they maybe stay for 2 or 3 years on my email list, and I see after 2-3 years they are still there, and they mention that they still didn't start their business or something. It's important not to be afraid to take action. And my online business developed just because I was just taking these challenges and going out of the box and taking action. So taking action, it's a very popular phrase and people hear it everywhere. I don't know how to put it. That's why you have to listen to the people who are achievers and successful, so you get inspired to take action yourself. This is why you are following different people, just that you take action yourself. And I noticed that even in my conferences, sometimes people came and they were following me for some time, and they came to my conference, and when I asked how is their business, and they acknowledged that they still didn't start, but they're interested. So for me, it's interesting to see that. I think it's a little bit a problem with the school systems that we are not taught to be action takers and doers. We are taught to feel comfortable in one place. That's why we are trained to believe in a job which is from the morning till the evening, and it's a safe place to be in your life. But I think it's quite wrong. So you have to change your mindset somehow to get inspired and take action. So it's first tip. The second tip, I don't know, maybe to travel. I traveled a lot. I was 60 countries, and I know how it impacted my life, how I see the world. When someone is talking about bad things about different countries, I just ask this person, have you been in that country? And if he hasn't been, I know that he's just brainwashed by the media. So you need to travel and see that the world is like 99% really good, and all the people are good, and everyone is really always is willing to help you. Of course, this 1%, which is like maybe, let's say, a little bit bad people, they have their own problems, their own stories. That's why they are behaving like this. But I always understand them as well. And so basically you learn this to tolerate and to accept and to understand other kind of people and other people's behavior. And when you travel also, you get out of it would be good to travel to a country or culture you have never been, or you have no idea how it is, and you will be shocked at the beginning maybe, but you will come back with a lot of, your brain will be kind of rewired. It will be like hit by cultural shock, let's say, and you will like start thinking in a different way. It
And
was always
also, it also helps with business relationships when you know those cultures and those people, right?
Yes, actually, I was in China after once I finished my master degree in Denmark. I went to China to travel for 3 weeks, and it was like there was a cultural shock for me, because I'm tall and I walk in the street and everyone is watching you. It was very strange feeling. I thought it's unsafe, but actually it's safe when everybody's watching you, because if something happens, everybody knows what happened. And I came back from China and I told myself, I want to go and live there. And that's why I was working at university in Denmark to save money. And I planned to kind of emigrate to China. I thought I will have savings for 3 months and I want to explore this mentality. But I canceled my plans because at that time there was some virus spreading in Asia called SARS. And of course, all the media was talking bad again. All the media was talking so bad about this, said that economy is going down in China. And I thought, okay, maybe it's not
You get
worth it.
demotivated.
Yeah. And I thought I will not be able to establish any life there. So, but this, you never should trust media and listen to it.
Okay. And the third tip?
What's the third tip? Maybe talk to people. Don't be afraid to connect. If you're Amazon seller, I think it's very useful to just sit on Facebook groups and be initiator or commenter and asker, like not to be afraid to ask. And also reach out to people who you see they are bigger than you, and maybe you will get no responses or many no's, but there will be always like 1 or 2 people out of 20 who will be saying yes. And these people are also maybe lonely, working in front of computer. Maybe they are making a lot of money, but they are willing to make friends. And you can have friends with the bigger sellers in this way. Initiate some kind of, in Facebook groups, initiate masterminds. Say that I want to make a mastermind. I want to grow my business to this level. And you will get initial 5-6 people. You will start meeting every week online, on Skype or Zoom. And then I think it's important to take action to connect to other people. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then thank you so much for taking the time and for answering all of my questions. It was a pleasure having you on. And yeah, I hope we see us again soon.
Yes. And if you want to see me in person, come to live events. You can go to orangeklik.com, where you find the links to the upcoming events. And basically, we will see you somewhere in Europe, most likely.
Awesome. See you there. Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Alright guys, that's it for today. That was my interview with Augustas. If you're interested in his virtual summits, live events, or his Demo Monday series. I put the link in the description. You can also find any other service you may need in order to grow your Amazon business on sermondo.com. Check it out, and I see you guys next time.